teams then do for themselves with that reality.
Yeah, nobody really lost their shot caller, though, because on the side of CLG Black, ThinkCard steps up to the table. They have ICanU, who's very vocal. Scarra also a little bit involved in that. And then you go over to the side of C9T, it's all Solo and Sheep. So you have a shot caller on either side of the map. Solo King in the top lane, when he opens up the map, he likes to make those TP plays, and that's basically on him, right? He has kind of the Zion Spartan.
I'm going, let's do this.
Yeah, it's more of a Zion. It's kind of almost similar to what CLG actually has in, well, Cloud9 Tempest. Shot calling style is kind of like what CLG has in the LCS.
It's actually funny as you talk about Solo emulating himself around Mar, and that's eventually the style that SKT got themselves into as well after they rolled Mar into the lineup, into the main roster. These teams oftentimes play around every 6 minutes. They play around conveniently, like basically the teleport cooldown, but also the dragon respawns, which is when the top laner can actually show up and join the rest of the team. And so these shot callers say, yeah, let's prepare for the thing where I'm going to join you guys again. And we've seen the rise of top lane shot callers because of it. They're like, oh, cool, we can emulate this style and just play this 6-minute teamfight style. What a natural fit for me as a top laner. And it's interesting how some of these things end up coinciding quite well.
I really like top lane, and the fact that TP's taking. Probably a lot of top laners are like, oh, I hate it because I don't get to take Ignite and kill the guy, but I really like the fact that it's such a far removed lane from most of the action. Like, it's like, I'm on an island, but now you have a way to beam yourself off the island and get involved. And I think that teleport is one of the better things to happen to competitive play in the top lane.
Yeah, teleport, the life raft of the island metaphor, I suppose.
And then you get put back on the island a minute later,
So strong winds come afterwards and haul you back out there. The cruise ship crashes. I don't know, something like that. Either way, LeBlanc, Gragas, and Callista all banned away from CLG Black. Rise, Alistair, Hecarim dropped from C9T, who have now first picked Sivir.
Yeah, and that's a great first pick from them. Callista off the field. They didn't ban the Jinx, though. Ashe was still available, but picking up the Sivir early on and having the Callista ban means you don't have one of those hard counters available against it. And Laud loves this Sivir. Right now, he's played it 4 out of the 5 games we've seen him, including that last game with Jinx. So 100% win rate on it, amazing scorelines every time he plays that champion. Just to give you an example, it's like 12-1-7, 7-0-7. He just has immaculate performances when he plays that AD carry.
Yep, it's been good overall. So his 5th Sivir game in the qualifiers here. CLG Black to make their first choices, though, and we've seen teams time and again go for Rek'Sai when she is available. That's however right now for ThinkCard. Looks like they're happy to play a more individualistic style. None of those big Sejuani ult dive bombs, and maybe not as much of a team fight comp in this time for CLG Black, but they do pick up Gnar as another secondary tank, so still a frontline is picked up early for the squad. Yeah,
I like this from Lorlo, though. I want to see him on this champion that can split push very well. Like, Rumble's not too much of a split pusher, he's more of a team fighter. Gnar kind of has the best of both worlds there. He can split push and duel very well. He also has a lot of team fight prowess. So Lorlo on that champion, I think it's a good adaptation because now they have a lot of split push pressure.
All right, split push pressure could be a very good thing for CLG Black, as well as getting out of the laning phase, which Rek'Sai should help quite a bit. I also kind of got to imagine facing a 2-on-2 lane might help him a little bit, just because you can sometimes abuse Sivir's slightly weak laning phase. In the spectrum of AD carry, she's one of the more bullyable ones, so maybe something that can work well for CLG Black. Who knows, we'll have to see as time goes on, but right now, the Thresh Hover for Cloud9 Tempest, you know, ICanU had first picked it over in the first game, and now it's been given over back to the second round of C9T as Jinte once again goes for Ziggs.
Yeah, but he goes for Ziggs so early on. I wonder if he's afraid of Scarra picking that up and taking it away from him. So he just wants that really high priority pick for him.
Talk about it being important.
Yeah, it's definitely an important champion in this matchup in terms of both mid laners seem like they want to poke the other down. So I don't know if Scarra's going to go back to another Varus. It seemed like a strategy that didn't really work out for him, especially with Maokai still on the table. And that was something that Solo had a lot of success with, just soaking arrows and a lot of the damage from it.
That's true, yeah. I do think, though, the poke siege was working for CLG Black. As you mentioned, right, they got a better top lane for split pushing to create some pressure, draw people away, even though they're still facing Ziggs. Yeah, I think CLB might go for a very similar type composition for themselves. Still 12 seconds to make their final choices. I do like their restraint and not hovering things. They lock in stuff basically together. There's the Koggins to lock, there's the Janna, so it is going to be still more poke, and we expect that to be mid lane Cog.
That's more disengaged, too. So they have the disengage for ICanU. I want to see him play passive on this Janna. I know ICanU playing a passive champion is pretty much like goes against his instincts.
You don't want to see me play Janna.
Yeah, exactly. You put an aggressive player on that type of champion.
Yeah.
But I want to see Kenny step up this game and keep Scarra protected and keep Frost protected, regardless of who goes where and with which champion, because there is a Kog'Maw on the field regardless of whether it's AP mid or AD carry. You want to keep him safe.
Yeah, I mean, you can still turn this comp in to protect the Cog if you really wanted to go AD carry here for Frost, but being the newcomer to the lineup, it'd be hard for me to think that they're going to build a comp around him. Last few picks come through. It's actually C9 Tempest who pick up the Sejuani, but again, the Maokai for solo up here.
Man, I love that as soon as Maokai and Sejuani were hovered, Scarra's like, oh, cleanse. Just swaps it immediately to cleanse. Like,
never mind.
I'm going to need this. Let me take this with me real quick. So, yep, it is going to be an AP mid, and it's going to be a kind of double AD carry. It's a really pokey AP mid with a Vayne. So I guess it's not double AD carry.
Technically, you type marksman to get
double
the
marksman,
roster, but
that's true.
It's poke mage. Essentially, call her Nidalee if you really want. Like, poke mage the mid lane. You do have cleanup from Vayne if they ever do break through the front lines here. Frost given Vayne for the matchup, and it's Vayne, Janna up into Sivir, Thresh, and I said, hey, maybe 2-on-2 lanes. Early on, no thank you. Around level 9, yes, please, for the Vayne Janna lane. You've got so much chase potential. The shield makes it impossible to lose trades once you've got that ranked up, and Vayne's a great chaser. So last time we saw Vayne played in the NALCS, the AD carry talked about how they just wanted to create these one-on-one scenarios, create these split push threats. You've got Gnar, you've got Vayne, and you've still got Cog who can wave clear great. A split-up map will work well for CLG Black.
Yeah, they could 1-3-1 as well. Yep. But the fact that there's a Sivir means that they want a team fight on the side of C9T. They want to have that Ziggs, Sivir, the 2 damage threats as they have, combined with the Maokai and the Sejuani to just start these fights off. So, once again, 2 damage threats for C9T. There's a little bit more here for CLB with the split push threat. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on here, is what can Lorlo do in the top lane, and whether or not it's a lane swap, and what can Frost get out of this as the new guy on the roster.
And we'll see if this is going to happen. CLB's backs against the wall, lose here, and they drop to the 3rd place match, forced to play Magnetic for the final spot in the NA Challenger Series. Cloud9 Tempest wins here, and they get themselves in.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
And they join the likes of Winterfox, Coast,
Final Five,
and Misfits.
And Misfits, you're right. We know 4. Soon we may know 5. Soon or soonish,
we will know 5 by the end of today. Unless both Nexus explode at the same time, and then we have a problem.
Well, we have 3 hours to guarantee that 2 games end. Odds are that's going to happen. Otherwise, we're going to figure out tomorrow.
Oh boy.
Who the 5th team will be in the North American Challenger Series. We will have VODs of the 3rd place match up next Tuesday, by the way. But it's going to be played on the 16th of June, in case you want to keep tracking these teams. Magnetic versus the loser of this series.
Unfortunately, they do not get broadcast, but if you are watching right now, thank you for the support, and that's what ends up pushing things towards being broadcast more often.
Yeah. It's been a wonderful season so far in the North American Challenger Series.
Yeah, there's been a lot of really good teams showing up. We saw AKA, we've seen Misfits, C9T, CLB, Odyssey. A lot of really good teams have shown up.
And we're going to see ourselves in a lane swap scenario here in this one. A couple of decent deports had come out from CLG Black. They will be able to track some of the movements here. We're going to see Frost and Kenny just take down the Gromp as fast as possible. Kenny should be tanking one of those shots.
So that he keeps the shield.
Yeah, he needs to keep the shield on for extra attack damage. Wow. So you're seeing them really just not have that practice together in this duo. I imagine they maybe haven't even played this duo lane together at all.
Well, the AD carry really shouldn't be taking that much damage, just in case, because...
If you think it's a lane swap, it's fine, because she'll just lifesteal back.
It's Janna with a coin.
Yeah, she'll sustain pretty easily.
So... He's immediately going to try to run mid now, or at least check on the buffs. I guess he's going to try to ward this over the wall. Doesn't have his ward up yet.
This is interesting. So C9T, they use Sheep to set up the lane swap, and they're sending him back to the bot lane right away, presumably to help Solo gain some XP. Kenny's already tracking all the jungle moves to see if people will show up in this bot lane at all, to see if the jungler gets there at all. But it looks like CLB already kind of building up some bot lane threat, but I really imagine C9T are going to look to take some XP in that lane pretty soon.
They see Sheep, though. Oh. Whoa! Whoop.
Out he goes.
There was a Janna in that bush, just runs straight by him. They do know that there are 3 people, at least 2 to 3, on that bottom side of the map.
Yeah, C9T made sure they would get there in time to not get dove on. Even though Gnar, Janna, and everyone are coming down, C9T got to the turret in time. Again, it wasn't a freeze, so there's just no way you can... CLB can dictate when this wave reaches the turret.
They know this is coming, though. They saw everybody go towards this red buff. And it looks like Hard might get triple buffed at the start of this game. Off of CLB, playing very nice level 1, and Kenny getting that deeper ward.
Yeah, I'm okay though with getting triple buffed if I'm getting my team 3 waves of experience here. Right, Solo is happily farming right here.
Obviously,
Vlad has been...
You're not a true jungler. Jungler would be greedy.
Well, I don't care.
3 waves of experience. I want my red.
I would much rather
Give me
have
my
all the
red.
experience. You're just wrong here.
Give me my red.
No. You don't deserve it.
At least let me have it for the first 2 or 3. As an AD carry player, you get to take it. Everybody takes my jungle level 1. And you take it throughout the rest of the game. No. We're done. We're done.
Next time we play, I'm going to steal your Scuttle Crab.
Oh my god. Wait, why?
Just to troll you. Just to troll you. I've actually tried really hard. The last time I played jungle, actually, I was playing jungle Olaf. I would Q the wave to like 15 health and let the AD carry take it all. The casters are all like 5 health. I could walk up and use Hydra.
I do that with Nautilus, because Nautilus you just E, and then you're like, oh, it's all 1 hit away.
Bye.
But on like Rek'Sai, I'm like, no, this is all mine. I'm working so hard for it.
With your lack of skill shots.
With my Qs. But yeah, I talked about seeing a lot of really good teams in Challenger Scene this season, at least in the qualifiers so far, from what we've seen. And when I talked to C9T, they were very confident coming into today. And the reason behind that is they had already had to play Frank Fang Gaming and Odyssey, 2 teams that they actually regard as being better than CLG Black, and they 2-0'd both those teams.
Yeah.
Frank Fang Gaming was the team that took Misfits to 5 games in the finals of the Alpha Draft Challenger League.
Yeah, but only gets swiftly 2-0'd by C9T for the revengeance here in the... Ooh, Scar loses the recall. Jinte. Out of potions. Scar has a couple left here, but the early mid lane is basically the same. Looks like the lanes have been sort of awkwardly matched here. Dual lane top side with Narjana. And Vayne given a solo lane against Maokai is actually a quite good lane for her, all things considered. So CLB have finally gotten back to their whole 3-lane situation, but Cloud9 Tempest already ahead in gold, thanks to, still in my opinion, outplaying the level 1 in the early lane swap game.
Pink card. Just tracking, making sure that everybody knows where Hard is. Frost still dies to this. It's just always one of those things where the game, you know it's coming, you've given the information. I'm not 100% sure what Hard is doing in this area, though. It looks like all he's really going to get is just some clear of his jungle, but he's not going to be able to answer mid if a gank comes out there. You can see, Thinkard at least trying to apply some pressure. They know that Thinkard was there, of course, because he showed himself, but Hard and Thinkard really accomplishing nothing on the map at this moment.
That's true. And delay of game just feels like I think it's better for Hard, actually, since Sejuani just doesn't really need anything to happen early on for the champion to be useful.
We've got to worry about Scarra.
Sure.
That AP Kog'Maw.
I absolutely agree, and that's going to be a big threat. Scarra was a pretty good performer in game 1 here. The 2-on-2 lane. Lot is hard pushing this wave right here. He must be close to the BF sword mark. Yeah, 1,628 gold on him. So this is the wave that gets in the BF sword recall, and I need to see where Cloud9 Tempest sends this lane now, because a BF sword Sivir has a lot of push power now that 7 minutes has passed.
We're also going to send the Vayne back as well. Will it be a BF sword for him, or will he be going to Bilgewater Cutlass?
Yeah.
It is the Cutlass route.
And he can't afford boots, so chasing actually is still not very good for him yet. He needs the extra movement speed to make sure that you can knock people down between auto attacks.
I don't know, man. You Bilgewater slow them.
It's okay.
It's not that great, but yeah. Boots, definitely better. Definitely more persistent. And they immediately just swap it back up. It's going to be the AD carry support down bottom.
The funny thing about this is it's basically a blind pick matchup. You both know you've all recalled, and you're like, which lane do we want? And right now, Sivir's going to be bashing her head into a Vayne lane. And
a Vayne with lifesteal as well.
Yeah, you're not going to push Frost out of the lane, but you certainly have way better wave clear, which means you can work down this turret and allow your team to roam easier. Lod could basically 1v2 this lane, because until Vayne gets some more movement speed, Lod can just like wave clear the wave immediately and then just like peace out and never get caught. So Sheep is able to roam right now, and Thresh roams are very good, especially against a Kog'Maw.
Yeah, we know Sheep. Another Thresh player we saw in Amelia last game, but look at this thing card to the top lane on Solo. Lorlo
only level 5, but still wants to go in on this Maokai. Here's the 2v1, and Solo can only run so far. Pops the flash, still gets Hypered on. One hit away from the kill, tries to juke on in, still can't do much. Sedgel comes by, hard flashes, and gets it. Now he's going to chase ThinkCard. It's red buff on this Rex side.
The tunnel. Oh. Oh boy. He's going to get away though. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Whew. Yeah.
Oh, 1 for 1.
It's one of those situations where you try to dodge by going to the longest route possible through the brush. Brush is not always safety. Sometimes going straight towards your objective, which is to get away, is the actual shorter route and safer route.
That's true. Rek'Sai heals up, ults back down to the bot side, and in fact, she can maybe get behind the enemy team, but right now she rushes for the red buff, knowing that he's going to get there way before Hard does. ThinkCard making a really smart adaptation, realizing that he is totally safe. A nice pink ward to watch for the entrance, and there's no way he's not walking away with that red buff.
Going with the Trailblazer as well on Rek'Sai. You don't really need that item. It just means you want a hard farm. It lowers your ganking because she's one of the very few champions that you can take the Skirmisher Saber, you can take the Challenger's Might, and it's really good.
Well, I mean, killing Sejuani's worth 300 gold. Who wouldn't want a hard farm here?
All right.
So Cinderhulk done for ThinkCard thanks to some extra gold he's actually earned so far in the jungle. A much slower route up for Hard, who's got some wards in inventory, but still no Juggernaut. You might see a gold disparity build for this CLB jungler. In fact, we are seeing a gold lead for CLG Black. And C9T were winning early on from the lane swap game, so...
Oh, no! That is...
That's rough. That's rough.
The red buff from ThinkCard stealing the blue from Scarra's AP Kog'Maw that's below 1/4 mana.
Yeah.
With
Scarra could have timed that better, but even still, it's always pretty heartbreaking on both sides.
That's jungler foul right there.
Really? To hit it with red buff when it's that low?
You need to stop hitting it pretty early on.
You have to stop at like 600 health or something.
You stop at like 300-ish.
But that's when Scarra hit E. Like, he got to 300, so Scarra hit E, and it got to 40.
Especially on Rek'Sai, what you do is you stop hitting it, and you can E it.
Okay.
Or you can burrow Q it, or burrow unburrow for damage. Like, you don't have to auto-attack it.
Okay.
There's a lot of ways on Rek'Sai to just actually get damage off on it without applying the reds.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Interesting to see ThinkCard switch between burrow and unburrows. He walks around the map. Of course, you can't detect pink. You cannot easily detect pink wards while burrowed, so he like makes sure no one's around, and then he's like, well, no one's here, so I'll walk around with my regular vision. It's interesting. I don't watch a lot of Rek'Sai's play, so it's cool to see like little things that players do.
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
I'm not a big fan of it because you lose the movement speed increase on burrowed. And Tremor Sense is always just, you'd have to know where Sejuani was in order to pull that move off. I do get it though.
I assume it was on purpose anyway.
Yeah.
So, the bottom lane, you're seeing a 17 minion lead here for the Sivir. Pushes Frost into the turret, and again, wave clear advantage. Gets to rush now for the Dragon, feels totally safe with ThinkCard on the other side of the map, and so the 2-on-2 matchup does work out well for C9T. They get Dragon control, and they get it clean.
The Dragon picked up there, they're going to know the timer on it, of course.
Yeah, but knowing the timer or not doesn't much matter here. 6% bonus attack damage for Vlad is quite nice sitting on that BF sword. Scarra had to recall, I believe, for some mana, got the Ether Wisp, but now has the mana to wave clear, but not the mana to harass with Aura a whole lot.
They're going top again. Solo doesn't have a ward, and he also doesn't have
Flash
at all, and they're not going to go for it.
Wow, ThinkCard playing very defensively. Doesn't go for what could have been a successful gank. Sejuani is on the other side of the map.
He's still here, so they're going to go dive.
He was like he put a ward down to make sure he could track Sejuani, realized nothing's happening there. Here comes the engage. Lorlo's going to land the stun into Solo.
Oh, no.
Rek'Sai didn't get over the wall.
All right, so there's a yeah, that happens
occasionally.
That happens over like that's a longer tunnel than usual, and sometimes it will make you go. It will make you not go through it, and it'll stop it. That is a very well-known bug where you do not complete going through your tunnel and it puts it on. Very unfortunate. That could have been a kill.
All right, so nothing happened for ThinkCard right there. Unfortunate CLB could have used some extra gold, but this dual lane is still going quite nicely down to the bot side. Shielded up. Vayne is, of course, plenty threatening, but when there's too many minions to fight through, you just can't win this battle. Lod able to harass this 500 range Sivir, hitting the enemies underneath the turret. Another easy wave to clear here right in front of his face. C9T feel just totally safe right now. Interestingly, Sheep actually also has not gone for a Sightstone. They're relying entirely on like hard and purchased wards to keep this bot lane safe as they perma-shove. And they have been able to do a bunch of damage to that bot lane turret. They're actually going to kill it on this wave here as the rest of CLB went to go take the Gromp. This 2-on-2 turned into a dragon and a turret kill.
Tried and true bottom lane of C9T up against the bot lane that does have a sub in it. Slowly but surely chip away at the turret and they get that first really big advantage. Yeah. For C9T, just off of pressure. They have that. They have the CS advantage. They have the turret advantage. They got the dragon early.
What a godsend for C9T, actually. CLB sent a dual lane back to the bot lane because now Ruin King boots are in. Now Vayne's scary. Now Vayne can kill Sivir in a one-on-one, and C9T are going to swiftly send their dual lane top because that turret's already dead. Dragon's not up. We have nowhere else to be but to pressure top lane, and they're not going to run into Vayne here.
And they constantly use Lod in this way. He's always killing turrets. It's Jinx, it's Sivir. It doesn't matter. They will always want that outer layer gone.
And Lorlo even bought Magic Resist. He's already got a Hex Drinker here, despite the fact that C9T are already a step ahead. They've already swapped the lane. Solo even has some armor items. He can, you know, withstand better than Gnar would, I suppose, this matchup. Frost will get some free time to hit this turret, though. He might even knock it down.
Card's here. They want to go for the 3-man dive.
He's going to go for the flash. Hard is here to turn it around, and actually flashing away the Condemned does basically nothing except save people. An ult in from Sejuani, but top lane's still getting pushed, and no one's there to stop this. It will be a turret trade overall.
They already lost that previous turret, so it's going to be 2-1 in turrets, and everything's all said and done. And they're not going to bounce the wave either. Neither's Lod, though. He wants to continue to shove. They want to keep
bot lane. Push as hard as you can. Yeah. CLB smart enough to steal the red. No one's going yet. Lurlo has TP, isn't using it. He's walking up there. Lod doesn't stay to deal damage to the turret. He could have chunked that. He's going for the Krugs instead. I don't know. He could have brought that turret to half. He has no wards, so he doesn't know that like where Nar could be or where Rek'Sai could be. But as it turns out, now he knows where Rek'Sai is. But had the chance of getting a lot of turret damage there.
Hard on the top side of the map. They're bringing Lod to the bottom side of the map. Possibly for an engage. Picked up the crit cloak. Instead of going for more attack speed, he wants to synergize with his IE already.
That's basically what happens there is you recall and you have 750 gold and no item slots, and you're like, I could buy Brawler's Gloves.
Or a dagger.
Or a dagger. Or a Cloak of Agility. Yeah. And if you're not going to recall for the next 1,000 gold, you might as well get the one item. I actually would have gone Zircrease. That would have been my choice. More mobility. And more turret killing power in case it matters.
Those are really the two things he's contemplating, but
whatever.
That's what he wants, though. Is he wants to get those crits. I mean, the crits served him really well last game.
Yeah,
he won a team fight, pretty much accelerated the game into his team's favor, just off of those Jinx rockets. But now on the Sivir,
Scarra gets blue. Finally. Yeah, the Sivir's going to be very scary. She's farming quite nicely. The Vayne isn't too far behind, but we're sitting on a 700 gold deficit for Frost here, which is manageable. Vayne's not supposed to win lane. She's not supposed to have a lead, so it's okay. Zircreeve's done for her as well, so she's got that first power play you care about on Vayne. She's got the mobility and the attack speed to chunk people out.
It's time to siege. Scarra has 11. Has the blue, has 11.
Not quite at Luden's Echo. He can actually combine it now when he gets back to base, and Dragon's in 45 seconds. Scarra needs to get this item.
Kenny, though.
Oh, man, Kenny just getting caught up by a hook. Gonna get ulted in, and down goes the kill. Jinte gets it.
He ultied right as he got ultied by Sejuani. So it looked like nothing happened to Kenny, and then he just got locked up and knocked down by Jinte.
Well, that will be points missing the ult for a little bit.
We're seeing them hold their ultis so long. We saw it previously where Sojin could have thrown out his Sejuani ultimate for a kill, and then the Lantern comes out to save somebody. And right there, Kenny holding off on his ultimate because he thinks, I need this for the impending team fight at Dragon. Now, he's not going to have it. He gets Sejuani's ultimate for it. He gets Jinte's ultimate for it. So it might actually be net positive for CLB.
The problem is, Scarra's getting chunked out in the mid lane. There's actually some good damage coming through from this Jinte Ziggs, and there's still no Luden's Echo. Scarra can afford it, but he's not getting it. All right, home guard TP. Lolo is not Mega Gnar, though. Getting destroyed right there. Summoner Heal used. Frost very alone, though. He's getting jumped on by Solo. A nice knockup by Thinkar, but I don't know if they can win the fight. Looks like they think they can. In goes Frost. He gets one. He's now got to run from Lot. The Flay gets him killed. Hard takes him out. A 1-for-1. C9T staying ahead.
Super aggressive play there by Frost. And Lorlo.
Ruin King.
Man, yeah, he didn't Ruin King at all. Like, there's a there's a lot of things here back and forth. Like Lorlo, really early to that fight, really early on the TP. He thought he was going to flank them, but Vlad with the crit cloak, just getting those crits off over and over again in that fight. He's already critting him for about 300. That guy has no armor.
Exactly. He's still itemized to deal with his Maokai, but Merc Treads are there to, I guess, stuff up hooks and Maokai roots and whatnot, but without armor, without a lot of health, you're easy to kill as mini Gnar. Unfortunate play there by Lorlo. The TP flank does not do anything. Scarra finally does have this Ludens, which means that spike has finally come in, but it came in after Dragon already got taken.
Yeah, they might be able to secure him this blue buff, though, and take it away from Jinte. If they're able to pull this off, Scarra, he has to shove this mid wave, and he has to get there as soon as possible. He's a little late to this party. He doesn't get to poke.
Kenny's got to be careful as Jinte is chunking him out a little bit. Smite War is going to be here between Lod and...
They want to smite it. They want to take it.
Okay, Minkard smites it and takes it away. Jinte will not have blue.
There's so many people up here, though. They're 2v1ing this bot lane. They're going to lose this turret. And Frost says they're leaving the sub to his own.
Yeah, and you know, you like to put Vayne in these long lanes and go for these 1v1 fights. And in fact, that's pretty nice as well, the wave clear here from Jinte. But yeah, problem is, C9T happy to play for the objectives. They don't care about what a one-on-one would be. They're sending both guys down there because they think they can pressure the turret. They're right. Jinte keeps the top side from being pushed in, and CLG Black have yet to find good inroads in this game. They try one more time, and this 2v1 is going okay, but they're unwilling to push this without the ward control to make sure they're safe.
It just hit me, too. We haven't seen Jinte in competitive since, I think, October 2013.
Yep.
It's been almost 2 years since we've seen Jinte in professional play. He's still looking really good.
Yep. Landing solidly doing his job.
Remember for the longest time he had the highest KDA because he played like one game on Rise on LOL Esports.
It was Orianna.
As a sub, and he was just like,
yep.
I think it might have been Orianna or Rise, but it's just like highest KDA because he never played
11.0 from his one game where they won. And, all right, Solo root into Flash. He gets away with it. Solo's been picked on really heavily. He's got lowest CS of all the carry lanes. 2 deaths as well, which is all the kills that CLG Black even have. This pressure on Solo is mounting to something, but the problem is the rest of the map is going quite nicely for Cloud9 Tempest, as Lod is responsible for all 3 turret kills so far this game.
This is pretty much the exact same game as last game, except sides have swapped and champions have swapped slightly. Because Dragon's in favor of C9T. C9T 1 turret up, but CLB seem like they're pressuring as much as possible despite that. And look at this.
Yeah.
Hard off on the side. He knows this is happening. Here comes
Nice
Vlad from the side, though.
Will get him some CC. Sheep forced to flash away. Jinte joins the battle, and goodbye. Didn't even need the ulti. Another kill picked up for Cloud9 Tempest.
Just the vision control and the playmaking there. The shot called from Sheep. And Hard, he's still sitting up here. He knows Think Hard is there. He's standing on a ward. He has his sweeper up, too. It hasn't even occurred to him, maybe I should sweep this.
Sapling doesn't go down in time. Solo will not stop that recall. Lorlo trying to play aggressively. The heavy magic of his buys do work in this lane. If he's able to find the matchup, it's fine for him. But as time goes on, Frost will still be okay facing up against Lod. He's got most of Phantom Dance, so those items still match. But there's only so much progress being made by CLG Black. Not long ago, we saw Scarra knock down the mid lane outer turret by himself off of Jinte roaming top. Scarra soon to get his Archangel staff as well, means he's going to keep getting more ability power. You can see how strong this AP Kog'Maw can be. He's going to get his blue buff as well, it looks like.
Super blue buff dependent.
Yeah, you can't harass without blue.
Think Card can't take another one of those.
Death cap done now for Jinte. He will always be able to wave clear, whatever he hits. Blue buff is in for Scarra.
Finally able to rain down some terror, but it's much more effective when he has that Ludens on. You can see Think kind of bullying hard around. Everybody kind of setting up for this dragon. You get your wards down now, 1 minute and 50 seconds beforehand, and you'll be good to go right ahead.
And right now, both these teams have this objective in mind. CLB managed to grab the Scuttler, but it will despawn before they can actually take Dragon. Pink wards allowing them to clear a few wards away as well, and it looks like CLB have the pressure on the mid lane. We're on a 2,000 gold game. Again, it's a very close mid game, one that C9T is holding the gold lead that CLB refused to let go of.
Oh, Kenny's here though, but he's not on playmaking support. It's really like, here's the shield, but they have Frost now, and everybody's on this side of the map. Solo.
Lorlo getting really chunked up, though. He's got to be careful. One more turret shot would kill him. Lorlo grabs the kill, unfortunately steals it away from Frost, who I think could have used the money.
They're trying to get Scarra
on the run. Oh, good dodge for both of them on the hook. And a bit of poke back on towards Jinte here means they're going to feel pretty good about this. C9T, though, 4 remaining members are mid, but top being pushed by this Frost Vayne. And look how fast the wave gets cleared away by this Kog'Maw. All that said, it doesn't matter. Sivir just has the damage to kill it off, but it will be, I think, a turret trade.
They're going to leave that tier 2 and top to its own devices.
There it is.
They're going to continue to push? Most likely not. They're sending some back. Dragon in 30 seconds. It's time to buy.
CLB played that so very well. A better objective trade. They're tied now in turrets. The gold is identical, and they just got to buy. This next fight is going to be super close.
Scarra.
He can afford Archangel, but he's not backing. Scarra
backing, exactly. He's trying to stop Jinte from backing.
I guess it's worth it, to be honest. A no health 6 can't fight for this, and CLG Black might very well get this Dragon.
There's 6 seconds before Dragon's even up, so this is going to be Jinte not there, but he still has his ultimate. He can still throw that after he jumps out of the base.
I don't think they can do it.
No.
I think there's no chance at all that there's a meaningful contest from C9T.
It's going down too fast.
They can try to steal, but that's it. There we go. Dragon 1 picked up for CLG Black. They are back in this game.
Definitely getting those bonuses for themselves. Going to help the split push, going to help the AP Kog'Maw hit those breakpoints where you can just clear the entire minion wave with Ludens. Poke to his heart's content. Once again, though, they do have the split push going for them. Lorlo in the bot lane. He does have TP up as well as Flash. His Veganar just went off. And it looks like C9T are just trying to set up the area between mid and top and around the Baron. Try to get some picks. The last time that they were chasing down Scarra in the mid lane, you saw the On the Hunt was popped. They didn't actually have Hard in a good enough position to Sejuani ultimate and get the actual Hard engage. But instead, now they're going to try to control this area, try to choke them out from vision, and now they're going to try to engage. Don't know how much they're going to get out of it,
though. Means a lot of damage. 336 damage crits on this gen. It means Kenny has to flash away to survive. Talisman Ascension's almost done. I really hope that's not Mikhail's. I hope that's Talisman of Ascension being picked up on this Janna. I think they need the move speed to deal with the fact that Sivir exists in the enemy team.
But if somebody gets locked up by the Sejuani ultimate, or
you have 2 tanks who should be positioned properly.
Yeah.
And your mid laner has cleanse. Like, you don't need Mikhail's right now.
Hopefully you also just knock them back.
You can't cleanse move speed, so, you know, like, one of these things can be dealt with and one of these can't.
I'm concerned, though, for Laud versus Frost again. Frost, he's even in levels, but he's almost 100 CS down. He's just getting bullied and abandoned. And here comes a fight.
This is actually pretty good one. She's getting locked up, and Silverbolt's doing a whole ton of damage, but Solo is there on the backside, stunned into the wall, taking a ton of damage himself, actually. Lorlo in the front lines is Mininar. He can't do anything. Kenny goes down. Enough damage comes through thanks to Hard's ulti on this.
Laud?
Oh, Laud's going to be pretty careful. A couple more Scarra hits would kill him, but he's not in range for more. He's not level 16. C9T get a 1 for 0 and get out.
Wow, crazy hectic fight there. Lorlo's TP location right onto the turret. No real advantage there, no real vantage point from that. They see that coming a mile away, but Scarra, whoa. Speaking of seeing it coming a mile away.
Oh,
Scarra, you're a Kog'Maw. Whoa!
He gets a slow, though. It's going to be hard to catch him now. Hook misses. Sheep will get the flay, and that means he's going down. Scarra yells timber. They will get Solo back, though. And now Hard on the chase. Cog passive does plenty. Scarra using his full kit, the flash knock-up think card. Getting a pick on a Jinte. 3 kills. This could be Baron for the team if they can pick up Laud. It's close. Lorlo's going to be Mega Gnar. Hops the wall. Great lantern to keep him safe. Scarra can ult back in and do Baron.
Scarra with the... that was actually... It was a good play. Making full use of the kit, like you said. That's
Baron. That's 100% Baron.
Feed to win, and it worked. Gave up his body.
Yeah, the Vayne chase down is very real. CLB have such good mid-game shot calling for a challenger team. They have stuck it in with C9 Tempest. A great fight gives them Baron, and CLB for the first time all series are actually winning.
Yeah, they have the AP Kog'Maw too, so these siege situations are going to be amazing. They're trying to... C9T will try to kill minions as Scarra is trying to kill all of C9T by raining down on them. And they used pretty much every summoner spell, so he knows he's not going to get flash engaged on, and he has his own flash and a Janna there to help him out. So Scarra is going to be in a really good situation. Despite sacrificing himself, that was honestly for the greater good because C9T overcommitted for the Kog'Maw. It's one of those situations where you see the Kog'Maw and you're like, I don't know when we're ever going to catch him again out of position. And Scarra just looked like the tastiest bait there. It's like, oh, Kog'Maw wants to check Baron because he thinks we're doing it. Let's kill him. Baited everybody back into it. Really, actually, like, that's one of those misplays that you're like, was that a misplay? Was he actually? I'm gonna say
yes, but it paid off.
It was a misplay, but they benefited from it because the true damage also just chunked out hard. It did a load of damage to Jinte as well from his passive. So, Scarra, really good job there.
If it works,
despite it being a bad job.
Double Phantom Answer. No, this is actually Phantom Answer Static Shiv, the build from Frost here. So attack speed focused Vayne. Kind of interesting. See if it pans out well for him. He'll miss out on a fair bit of lifesteal, but his attack damage is going to give him more of that. Mikhail's is the pickup for Kenny. He's not far away still from Talisman of Ascension. He's still on that tier 2 item. The heals and cleanses will help Frost if they're really playing around him.
Yeah, and with the split
That's
push
what they're going for.
Split push threat now with the Baron, really good situation for CLB. They're going to get at least 2 turrets off of this if they play this correctly. Because now they get to rotate bottom. They kept Frost mid. They kept the sub mid. Fend for himself. And they're going to take this bottom turret.
Wow, nicely done with Baron. And it's smart of C9T to not contest these. You're going to get chunked out. And Baron buff, you typically get tier 2 turrets if you put your mind to it. I think the correct choices for both sides so far. Laud is on split push duty into the mid lane here and seems to be pretty safe. Problem is Laud has like no vision control of his own jungle here. Flicks can easily happen from CLB until the wards come back up. There's just a bit of limited vision. Big wave topside. Lurlo's already there to take it over. I think about 1 minute left on Baron buff here, and we may see one last attempt by CLB before this sort of situation resets.
Yeah, they haven't really gotten in a position where Scarra can just throw down his ultimate over and over again. He has the Void Staff now. You can see he has an elixir in his inventory, which means he's in a situation where he wants to be poking people down. They're actually most likely going to group up around this spike from him. And I'm waiting to see when he pops that potion. Dragon fight is about to happen, so he's prepared for that as well.
Baron buff's gone, blue elixir is in, a lot of items got bought, the static shiv as well for Vayne.
TP up as well for Lorlo, and he's sitting.
And it's not for solo, which means a lot of lane pressure.
He's actually going to Mega Gnar, he's going to transform.
If there's a time to engage, it's right now. Use the Mega Gnar timer, start Dragon, make C9T react to you, and then TP on with the Mega Gnar. They see Lorlo's Mega up in the top lane, and there's not a chance in hell. C9T run,
They'll go for the steal
top
though.
lane.
They'll still try it.
He doesn't have flash, he's a lantern, okay.
Yeah, pretty much you have nothing to lose by trying.
That's true.
If you misplay it, you can get condemned
Kenny
into
should
the
have
wall.
flash
Then.
ulted him.
Yeah. Oh.
I think the LCS big plays.
Well, they have to make the LCS to make the LCS big plays.
All right, Challenge Series qualifiers, big plays. Long hashtag, it's worth it.
Is it? Is it really worth it?
Yes. Yes, it is. Hashtag MSI show match, big plays.
That just all. Phreak, what was that? I loved that.
That was so good.
That was awesome.
Really enjoyed that. That was a trooper. All right, so 4,000 gold lead. CLG Black have made this mid game look very good for them, and for as much as C9T said CLB is not as good as other teams, I don't know if I believe it. Scarra is doing some work in the mid lane. He's holding up quite nicely, despite all the ganks and stuff Hard has done. CLB have very strong mid game play. They have 4,000 gold, and they have the tools to win this game for sure.
It's not the Jinx again. It's that short range of Laud. So Laud is not actually as much of a threat. And CLB get to play their own game on their own terms and just play kite backwards, peel for Frost, peel for Scarra, instead of having to be, let's get it Jinte, let's get it Laud. Right. Now they have the primary threats that need to be worried about. And it kind of changes the whole dynamic of how each team is approaching the game and approaching the fights. Because now Hard really relies on getting to that back line instead of his previous job, which was let's peel, let's move backwards, let's make sure that Lod can position correctly around me.
Without Eluden's Echo, Ziggs cannot poke nearly as well as Kog'Maw. I don't know if anyone can, to be completely fair, but long-range play is definitely not something that C9T can sustain. Split push is not something they can sustain because they've got a very aggressive Gnar build with the Black Cleaver in to actually fight the Maokai, and Vane's gonna easily win the 1v1 over Sivir, so Sieges aren't good for C9T, Split push aren't good for C9T. What is good for them aside from hope you get in the face?
They have some team fight. They just got to get to the face. Exactly.
Smork.
They don't have a Talisman of Ascension. They do have a Righteous Glory, though, from Solo. Lod, though, doesn't really have... He doesn't have the Last Whisper yet. He went for the double AD damage, AD items again, double BF items. No Last Whisper just yet, up against a Randuin Zoman. 2 Randuin Zomans.
Yeah. Means that Jinte's going to be big, though. He's got the core 3 items for AP, though. Deathcap, Void Staff, and Thieves are there, so you have to respect Ziggs' damage. He's not quite a zero Cassiopeia, but Ziggs does some pretty serious teamfight damage for sure. The consistent damage is quite good. Q's got a short cooldown.
Yeah, if you throw out the ultimate correctly, the teamfight is basically over before it even starts.
Yeah.
And over before it even starts, might be that Baron here. 20 seconds on that Baron. Lorlo TP, Solo TP. And now they're just prepping the bottom lane. They're prepping, they're prepping the Baron area as well. Make sure that they will be in the spot that they can contest and take it. Lorlo has transformed already, so he'll be locked out of that when Baron spawns.
Pink wards in inventory of CLB, also 3 sweepers, one of which is upgraded. That will allow them to clear away many of these wards. Thinkard gets spotted by Hard, though, has to jump the wall to get away. And continues to put wards down as best he can. Still fights him, though. Thinkard feels real safe. Isn't winning the fights against Hard, though, has to sustain back up afterwards. Now, I actually went and looked at the match resist values of all of CLG. It's basically like between 110 and 30. It's very low match resist numbers from this lineup. Lorlo's got a decent amount, but no one else has much afterwards. Which means that this, I mean, you're seeing the Kog'Maw poke, but like, if Ziggs lands damage, it's even more than we saw right there.
Yeah, with that Void Staff, too, it's pretty much going to negate the benefits of that Aegis of the Legion and lock it.
Here's the hard engagement. They're going to try. Lorlo is almost Mega Gnar, though. It's going to be a rough time for them as Mega Gnar will be here. Thinkard taking so much damage, tries to stay alive, but will not do so. Kenny can't heal enough, but Scarra is doing a lot of big 3-man stun for Lorlo. Frost getting jumped on. QSS is out, takes the Mikhail, still alive. Cannot go down. Chunks out C9T. It's a 4-for-1.
Triple kill going over to Frost, the substitute player. Coming up big on this Vayne, and Lorlo making that fight. He's still going to train him down. If that hits, ooh, decides to back off.
The turret. There's a Baron to be had in CLG Black. Yeah, I mean, you can take this, guys. Like, you just need someone to take it. Wait for Lorlo to get there. There he is. This is going to be the Baron cleanly and quickly picked up by CLG Black. Kenny should play actually farther back. He's taking damage from Baron just by being around. You can see that green stuff under his feet. Losing health for free, but it's all right. They're going to get it. Lorlo goes Mega Gnar to stay alive. And Baron number 2 for Counter Logic Gaming Black. They're now up 7,000 gold.
Beautiful play there by Lorlo. The TP in. They didn't respect the Gnar. I saw everybody start moving forward in their positioning, and they just clumped around for a great 4-man. Jinte, he gets a little bit of this fight. Thinkard starts it off on the right foot, but Jinte now is trying to get to Scarra, trying to get to Kenny. I don't think it's the right place. Boom. 3-man. Because there's already somebody there. I thought it was a 4-man originally. But oh man,
got chunked out, and Frost just can't quite die anymore because if it's a 2-threat comp. Yeah. Jinte was actually he blew his burst onto Thinkard and then chased Kenny a little bit, and Law just as soon as Law died to Frost, fight over.
Yep, and Frost had free reign of that because Lorlo was causing so much pressure, and that's the thing I talked about where Hard, his mindset is no longer peel for my squishies, it's get their squishies. And when you're thinking like that, you're not protecting Laud. Laud has to walk forward even further, and then everybody gets Nard because everybody's focusing on Frost and Scarra and trying to get them out of the fight. They're not focusing on Lorlo, and he took advantage of that.
He absolutely did. It's beautiful stuff here. 2.2 attacks per second on the Vayne. Ooh, not gonna happen. Dragon Free comes in, they land that stun on the Heart, but they can't quite get the knockout.
Laud.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt a lot.
Oh my lord. Oh my lottie.
Goggle does reveal for a few seconds. He sees where he's going, but Scarra can't quite land the extra abilities. However, it does mean mid lane is open. This will be taken down for certain. on the second Baron. CLG Black get their 6th turret kill of the game. They go towards the mid lane inhibitor turret. They knock that one down as well. The inhib under fire. C9T just done healing now, but Lorlo's Mega Gnar has ended. Doesn't matter. They can't fight it. CLG Black well ahead now.
Great foothold in this game from them. Despite only being up 3 kills, it's all these turret takes. It's all these times that they've set up for objectives in the team fight. Once again, blue buff actually goes over.
He smites it. Think card just wants to make sure Jinte can't get it.
Yep. Making 100% sure.
You know what's funny? This is almost the exact same team that Magnetic ran in game 1.
On C9T side, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Zig Sivir, and yet CLB are making really good headway, actually, knocking the base down. They got the mid lane and hip down. See what else they can push for here.
It's because they brought their own wave clear and poke.
Yeah, they got the, well, I mean, you consider AP Nidalee would be poke, but...
Yeah, it's true. That's really how they made it into some things, is through the AP Nidalee and the split push.
Yeah.
So they have the split push, they have more wave clear. The AP Kog'Maw, in my opinion, much lower cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, he's a better poke champion to be sure. Like, as far as the scale goes, he's pretty much on the top end of it. But they've managed to chunk out C9T, knock buildings, and afterwards you can see what CLB does with the lead. It's pretty damn clean. They played around Mega Gnar actually basically perfectly. They're like, yeah, we will take this fight because Mega Gnar's at 90% bar. And it's been good time and time and time again. We're going to see Mercurial Scimitar come in for Frost soon. I actually want to see him build another tank item afterwards. Because the only way CLB loses fights now is if Frost dies. And they're going to catch up Solo. A lot of damage. Oh, they nearly got the condemn, but not quite. One attack too late. They would have got him on the wall.
Now they're going to shove down this bottom wave. Again, now they have the split push coming in. And this time it's Think Card because the TP's down. So Think Card is just kind of softening up these waves, making sure that the super minions get to the Nexus a little bit faster, and somebody has to get pulled up to actually deal with them, while Scarra pokes. Scarra with the blue buff now, chunking out Jinte. As he lands these, you're going to see C9 walk back further and further. He still even chunks out Solo.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's getting worse and worse for the C9T lineup here. The bot lane seems like that Frost willing to tank turret shots just to get a little bit more damage done. They know the shielding is fine. TP flank coming in for Solo. Here comes the engage from Sivir. They're going to go for this one, but they can't quite find the fight. Solo comes in. Central is a full whiff, and Kled keeps Scarra alive. Half HP gets a heal and a shield. They go back in for Solo. They're going to find Lon with the exhausted. Frost wins the duel thanks to some help. Sheep's going to go down. It's a double kill for the Vayne. 3 kills now picked up. Jinte falls. That's 4 for nothing. And it's going to be easy for CLB to push all the way back in. Another kill for Scarra. That's going to be the game. We're going to have a 1-1 series now.
Tying it up now. We said that both these games, early, mid-game, very evenly matched teams. Whoever gets that one big foothold in the game is just going to snowball it after that. And this is just a great series so far. Definitely fighting for that final spot. Final 2 spots.
Yeah.
Challenge.
Well, CLG Gaming Black, subs or not, you guys look pretty damn good right now. Convincing win over Cloud9 Tempest, pulling a comeback after a slightly rough early game. The new guy, Frost, on Vayne. It worked.
They left him a couple times, and he was still fine. They gave up turrets. They left him by himself, and then C9T ended up playing kind of into that trap that Frost is alone. And the thing I like here was the adaptation of putting Lorlo onto the Gnar this game. Because last game, him on the Rumble, he had the TP plays, but he didn't really have split push pressure. And now he always had split push pressure, especially since Solo ends the game 0-6 and 5. And he's a big part of the team fights too. So Solo pretty much always had to be in attendance. And then Lorlo was like, I will show up when I'm ready to Gnar in. And they played around that really well.
Yeah, it worked really nicely. I actually want to see some of the post-game stats as well, looking at like Scarra's damage dealt. I want to see Vayne's damage dealt. It's probably going to be fairly close, oddly enough, even though poke champions always seem to like top that graph. You had a lot of damage come out from Frost in this one. I know you're pulling it up right here. I'm looking over. Yeah. Vayne, about half of Scarra's damage is actually pretty damn good. Vayne did as much damage as Ziggs did to champions.
42,000 for Scarra, and then Ziggs and Vayne, 23,000.
Yeah. That is a good performance. And the fact that, you know, Frost and Kenny are essentially a new duo. You actually saw them screw up the Gromp take at level 1, just like not playing Vayne Janna in the Gromp camp properly. And they managed to still make it work throughout the rest of the game. I have nothing but praise to say for the C9, or sorry, the CLG Black lineup. I mean, C9T is very good as well, but you know, to me, the big story, I kept singing Frost's praises, but Scarra has done quite well for himself. The poke champions were good. I imagine he's got to be one of those voices on the team by being so experienced as a player overall. And C9, I keep getting it wrong because they both start with C. CLG Black still have a very impressive mid game. It seems to mostly key off of Scarra's poke champions. And to me, if you're that afraid of what CLB is doing, you need to find a way to get Scarra off poke.
Yeah, I want to see a Karthus from either Jintei or Scarra. Next game, I want to see a Karthus. Game 3 Karthus, whip it out.
Karthus vs Cassiopeia. Maybe some mid-Andy can come back in this one. Let's go for the original 40 for the entire lineup. Just go full old school in this one. But that game was good. 15-7 in kills. Actually pretty close as far as kills were concerned. Once CLB got the big foothold, they crushed it. That one big Baron fight was all it took, and they were completely in control here. C9T still have an amazing early game. Lod, Sivir was very good. The battering ram, the knockdown turrets went just fine, but the problem is Lod can't, like, Sivir can't succeed in these kind of fights where there's a Kog'Maw way back there and a Vayne in your face. You just don't kill tanks as fast as those guys do, and you can't play the poke game as well as those guys do.
Yeah. And the highest skill participation member, and you talk about the Baron fight, is actually Lorlo, the top laner, involved in 14 of the 15 kills as a top laner. He really, really just played his heart out this game, was being the frontliner and being right in the thick of those fights. So he played it really well.
Absolutely. One, I would say, bad TP being Mininar, escaped with his life.
True.
But there are 2 or 3 consecutive really
the
big
Scarra bait?
Meganar TPs that crushed it. So guys, we've got to take one more quick break, but when you return, it's time for the decisive Game 3 between CLG Gaming Black and Cloud9 Tempest. You guys do not want to miss it. Ton of damage himself, actually. Lorlo on the front lines is Mininar, and he can't do anything. Kenny goes down. Big 3-man stun for Lorlo. Frost getting jumped on. QSS is out, takes the Mikhail, still alive. Cannot go down. Sheep's gonna go down. It's a double kill for the Vayne. 3 kills now picked up. Jintei falls. That's 4 for nothing. And it's going to be easy for CLB to push all the way back. Get another kill for Scarra. That's going to be the game. We're going to have a 1-1 series now.